The current price of Bitcoin is set at $23,395, and I think this evening could go incredibly well based off a number of kind of key fundamental factors in my experience of trading cryptocurrencies. The key reason for that would be if we actually look at the CME gap right now, it's currently sat at $23,495, the current price of Bitcoin being about $200 below that level. If we're actually to look on the chart right now as to where that level would be, it approximately is about here on the chart, meaning that essentially if Bitcoin is going to close that CME gap, it's going to break this level of resistance, essentially meaning that we will break the top of what is an extended bull flag formation. And at that point in time, we should be expecting another move to the upside. Monday could be an incredibly bullish day, but in today's video, I'm going to explain the upside to you. I'm also going to explain the downside, and I'm going to talk about my current open trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I've got a bunch of altcoin trades open still as well. So if you are interested in that, and of course, XTP and Dafi, I'm going to analyze both prices because I think that next week is going to be a really big week for both of those two altcoins. So if you wouldn't mind, please do drop a like on today's video. We're trying to hit 1,000 likes on this video, so please help me out with that. And at the same time, please do subscribe to the channel. My name is Jordan. If you've never seen me before, I make videos on cryptocurrency on the internet. I show you my current open trades every single day. So if you wouldn't mind, drop a like, subscribe, and let's crack straight on with it. So when it comes to the current price of Bitcoin, what are we looking at right now? Well, if we're going to close that CME gap, of course, we are going to break through this level of resistance right here. But how would that leave Bitcoin sitting? Well, you can see here that actually we broke the bottom of the VWAP, and every time we break the bottom of the VWAP, we can expect a move to the upside. But currently, Bitcoin seems to be lining itself up for another move to the upside. But if we look at my current open trades right now, I've got a number of them open, and I've only got one in a loss right now. I've got this Bitcoin trade open at the top here, 12K in profit. Another Bitcoin trade, only 1K in profit. Algorand is now 5 grand in profit. If you remember from a couple of weeks ago, I made a video about Algorand, basically showing that the Australian government is launching their US dollar, no, it's not US dollar, sorry, Australian dollar stablecoin. The US government is issuing their CBDC on the top. Oh, look, you can see the back of my head in the mirror there. Can you see it? Anyway, point is, Australian government is launching a stablecoin on Algorand. That's why I think that Algorand's price will probably have a very good year, hence why I bought a bunch of Algorand, and currently that trade is about 5 grand in profit. Now, when it comes to some of the other things on here, of course, BNB was a speculative trade based on the fact that I believe that Binance's coin has been undervalued by the market because of all the recent Binance FUD. That trade is now $2,300 in profit. The Dent trade is now $419 in profit. Only reason I bought that is because the coin's price seems incredibly low. At the same time, Ethereum Classic, I opened this trade very recently. I didn't actually mention it on the channel, but I am now long on Ethereum Classic. I actually think that Ethereum Classic might have a good week as well. If Ethereum's going to rally, Ethereum Classic's probably going to rally as well. Now, at the same time, I'm long on Ethereum. That trade is now $17,000 in profit. I've got a long on Phantom. That's now $3,000 in profit. My holochain long here is $1,000 in profit. My Chainlink long is $3,000 in profit. And we've got a bunch more kind of positions on RSR, SLP, Spell. They're only a little bit in profit. At the same time, UNFI, $1,000 in profit, and Zilliqa, $1,000 in profit, giving us today a combined profit between all of these trades of about $56,000 or $55,500. Depends on how often you check the chart, doesn't it? Because these things do rapidly change all the time. But when it comes to the current prices right now, of course, I'm thinking that things are looking good. And if we're to look at the current price of Ethereum, Ethereum is currently trading at $1,668. If we're to actually look at how this is trading in terms of a trading formation, this again, it looks good, does this? We're finding a lot of support in this range here, and we are hanging on the top of this level of liquidity. If I'm to drop down basically to a daily chart right here and show you what is going on with these levels of liquidity, I've been saying for a while now, I still expect the price of Ethereum is going to go up to about $1,800. And as you can see, we've already surpassed the key levels of liquidity in this range. And as soon as we pass through $1,800, it's a firm break to the upside to about $2,500 on the price of Ethereum, to where these previous levels of resistance logically would sit. Now, being that I actually think that also we're forming a bit of a W reversal pattern right now, which you can see right here, when we W bottom like this, it tends to be that we make a lower high, and when we make that lower high, it tends to be that we break to the upside based on my experience. That seems to be happening right now as well. So it's making me, again, bullish. And I'm unapologetically bullish right now because I do believe that we could be on the cusp of a fairly significant breakout. I see a lot of people saying about this death cross that is going to happen with the 200 weekly moving average and the 50 moving average crossing paths, essentially meaning that Bitcoin's price is now going to go to $3. It's probably not going to happen. Let's be honest. Moving averages are a lagging indicator. Let me show you how that moving average is looking right now on the current price of Bitcoin. This is the moving average that everybody is talking about, and essentially Bitcoin is finding a little bit of resistance up at this moving average. However, everyone fails to notice the fact that as soon as we break out of this range here, there's basically no liquidity all the way to the moon on Bitcoin's price, and that applies to pretty much everything right now. When prices start pumping, they're going to pump hard. Whether it be this week, next week, or the week after, it's going to happen probably at some point this year, whereby we do see Bitcoin's price rallying upwards fairly significantly. And if you look at customer on consumer sentiment right now on the price of Bitcoin, consumer sentiment is actually, oh damn, I should have bought $16,000, or I should have bought $20,000. Actually, should have put more money into this right now. That's what consumers are thinking, because the sentiment has changed significantly. And again, I feel like a lot of people are neglecting the fact that the Federal Reserve came out and they are fairly bullish right now. The Federal Reserve is not as concerned as what they were. Jerome Powell's words over the past week were basically, guys, it's not as bad as what we first thought, and currently things look like they're getting better. So that's all good news. And of course, I want to show you another trade that I've got, rather another chart right now, which would be the chart of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Ethereum versus Bitcoin found a little bit of resistance here up at this control line. I expect that Ethereum's Bitcoin price is actually going to rally again fairly soon. If we look at this on a slightly smaller time frame, like the 1 hour, you can see that Ethereum's Bitcoin value over the course of this weekend has dropped. But at the same time, that's probably not going to last forever, because we are in a fairly solid upwards channel right now. Don't be concerned by the rate of which prices increase. What you've got to remember is liquidity restores fairly quickly. And I've always talked about this in crypto. People always say, oh, the prices are going down non-stop. That's because people are pulling liquidity. But when people put liquidity back into these systems, essentially liquidity pulls very quickly. And when you have a large pool of liquidity, that causes prices to increase fairly significantly, which is one of the key reasons as to why I'm really not that bearish on crypto right now. So when it comes to the prices of Dafi and XTP, how are they going to get on over the course of the next week? Well, if we first of all start off with the price of Dafi, Dafi is currently bull penanting outwards. We've got a massive bull flag on Dafi that, again, if we had to replicate the previous move that we've had here, we could be looking at 5, 6, 7 cent Dafi in the course of the next week. If we actually measure bottom to top on this move right here and then apply, oh damn it, this is a stupid chart that doesn't work, but either way, if we were to apply that kind of level of move on the price, you would see, look, stock up here leads to stock up here, and essentially giving us a price on Dafi of around 6 cents during the course of the next week. I continually hold my Dafi in expectation of this pump happening based off the news that I'm expecting to come out over the course of the next, I don't know, I really probably would expect it on Tuesday or Wednesday, to be honest, but it is very significant news to do with the tokenomics of Dafi, and it's very, very exciting because, again, it's gonna have a significant impact on everybody's Dafi coins. So that's pretty exciting. Now, the other thing is, of course, to discuss XTP. Currently trading at 70 Satoshis. We've got some strong buy pressure here on the charts, as you can see. We've got 4 million in buys sat at 68 sats, 1.1 million at 69. And in terms of sell liquidity, there's a bit of a wall here that's formed at 70, but I would expect that wall is going to get absolutely mashed next week. And when I say mashed, I mean mashed. It's going to 100 sats next week. It's got to go to 100 sats next week. You've got to surpass 100 sats next week. I won't be selling anywhere near 100 sats. For me, my target is much higher because I do believe in the future of XTP. And if you not already know what XTP is, download the app. You'll find a link for it in today's video description, right at the very top of today's video description. It's for an application called Tap Global. I think this application is going to go through some significant growth over the course of the next couple of months, especially because they are launching in the USA. But at the same time, they've not launched in the USA yet, meaning that the opportunity is before the USA launch. After the USA launch, you should see a significant spike in adoption. And of course, that will naturally be matched by a price increase because of the way that the fee tokenomics work, essentially burning coins, and also based on any profit that the company makes, that will also burn more coins. Don't forget that they recently made a deal with Bitfinex to offer Bitfinex cards to all Bitfinex consumers, which will dramatically increase the profits of the XTP business because now they're white labeling their solution, which is an aggregated debit card that also has banking capabilities, which is really, really good. Anyway, so XTP is bullish, Dafi is bullish, and of course the entire crypto market right now is looking pretty good. The CME gap is currently sitting at $23,545. So when it comes to a breakout this evening, am I expecting it? Well, I'll be watching the price tonight at about 1 o'clock in the morning to see if we do get that breakout. It's going to be very, I keep getting distracted by the back of my head. You can see it up here. Anyway, yeah, essentially, I'm very distracted by this view. Point is, I think the market is going pretty bullish right now. I think the market could flip really bullish over the course of the next week. But what are the downside levels of which to watch to see basically where my theory fails? Because although I am bullish right now, I'm not an idiot. And I do also want to consider the downside and at which point I would exit my trades. Because currently, again, don't forget, I'm $57,000 in profit. I don't want to lose all of that profit. So at what point do I go, right, enough's enough, it's time to take profit if things don't start working out the way that I want them to work out, which is essentially, we need to look at the downside levels of support. And on Bitcoin, it's pretty clear, essentially, $23,200. We lose that $23,200 level. To be honest, it's not that clear. 23,200 to break below it wouldn't be the world's worst thing. Essentially, we can drop all the way as low as this line right here on Bitcoin. If we lost that level of support right here, which is currently sitting pretty much bang on $22,900, and again, you can see the control line down here as well. So I'd go by the control line and where that currently sits, about $22,300 to $22,900 to $23,000, somewhere in that range. I would start considering to close my positions, because if we lost that level of support right there, we could expect to drop back down to this lower level, and then I could reopen my trades at a slightly lower level and expect to bounce back to the upside. We don't know quite how long this bounce and everything is going to last, but at the same time, sentiment is changing quickly. I'm not necessarily expecting a retrace or a pullback, even though logically you would say, look, Bitcoin is up quite significantly recently, it should pull back or retrace. Yeah, but it was down really, really bad, and everyone is forgetting that. Everyone's forgetting that Bitcoin went down 87% from its all-time high, and Ethereum was down 92% from its all-time high. It doesn't make sense to be expecting that we should have to short right now, but it's also important to consider the downside. So the downside on Bitcoin right now would be, watch out for these levels here and here. Again, those levels are currently sitting at $22,900. Break below that, and then we can expect more downside to come. At the same time, when it comes to the price on Ethereum, we want to be watching this chart right here. I want to drop down onto the 1 hour chart right now to look at those levels. And on the 1 hour chart, we've got is it as clear? I don't know. It's not like massively clear on Ethereum which level we should. We go by the control line. The control line is currently sat at $1,636. So we lose $1,636 at this stage. Currently we're sat $30 above it. Then we could probably expect to drop back into the previous range right here, based off. You can see where the control line would currently sit around here. We could expect to drop back into this next lower level range here around 1,585. And at that point in time, I would reopen my long positions. So I'd take profit on them at that level, wait for the drop, and then at that point re-enter to go back up, because again, I'm not bearish right now, but I would also reconsider those trades. So it's important to consider both sides of the trade, although I remain insanely bullish, and although we know that the CME gap currently sits higher than what the Bitcoin price is, meaning that we should in theory break to the upside this evening, and then next week it's all going to kick off. It's going to get pretty wild because of this 200-day moving average and 50-day moving average crossover over the next 2 weeks. Sorry, it's not day moving average, it's weekly moving average. But essentially, yeah, the market's going to get volatile. It's going to be fun. If you are interested in trading, check out links and information in today's video description. If you want a trading tutorial, click on the one on the screen right now. And at the same time, have a great day, everybody. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.